Hey family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR prepping. So I'm out at the dining room table, got my drink, and I have my list, baby. I have a list for you. So, things are heating up. If you didn't see, over the weekend, I think it was Friday, maybe. I think maybe it was Friday, I can't remember. But we were already discussing what had happened early in the week with the pipeline. And now we have the thing with the bridge. When it comes to escalation of war, this is serious stuff, okay? And there's only two ways I see this stuff. Either Russia did it or they did not. And either way is a bad deal, okay? It's not good, because if they did it themselves, that means they are escalating, and they're escalating on purpose to continue to start a war, a real war that gets some stuff popping off. And then if they didn't, this is absolutely an act of war, and it's coming, right? There is no getting away from this. And so doesn't matter where you look, read some articles. I read an article the other day of a gentleman who is close to Putin. I can't remember if it was one of his generals or a close friend, can't remember. But basically was just war gaming and saying, look, if Putin attacks, it's going to be in three areas. Three things are going to happen. One, he's going to take over the Baltic. Two, he's going to take out all enemy satellites. And three, he's going to attack Europe. And specifically, London is the city that he's going to hit. Okay. Well, if you know anything about war tactics, been in the military, read books on war and leadership and all this stuff, there's certain things you do. One is cutting off supply, so that would be the Baltic. One is killing people, which would be the attacks on Europe and trying to hurt and maim and kill people. And then another way is the satellites, is communication. You kill the communication. If you kill the communication, that is hectic, very, very hectic, okay? So if you're able to do those things, there's different tactics and ways to get at the enemy, okay? And so it makes 100% sense that those are things that would happen, but also I do know that enemy doesn't let you know what they're doing, right? And there's a lot of false information out there. So I take that with a grain of salt, this stuff that I'm reading. But let's get into this, okay? Lots of stuff happening. I want to keep it pushing. I don't want to live in fear. My family doesn't live in fear. But I do want to give you 10 things that we're doing to prepare to ensure that we are ready for whatever comes our way. If God takes us and we're gone in an instant, we're gone in an instant. But in the meantime, we are going to prepare. So some things we're doing. Number one is the family plan. If something happens and everybody is scattered to the winds, meaning maybe you have kids in school, maybe they're at a friend's house, maybe you commute to work, you're far away, maybe you guys are just out and about at the movies, across town, whatever it is, the family needs to know what is the plan when stuff happens. Now, you should have already talked about this in general when emergencies happen, but it needs to be reiterated in the sense of specifically this war. If it goes nuclear, to get home, how to get home, how long that realistically could take. If you have kids at home that are waiting for parents to come home, realistically, how long that will take. If you have to walk home, so that they know that. What is their plan? What are they to do until you get home? There's a lot of things to work out. Logistically, if it's a nuclear war and fallout's coming, which door to come through, because maybe doors are being sealed up, windows are being sealed up. So what door are they to come through to prepare, to get ready, right? And what's the plan with that? Number two thing I have is the shelter plan, right? We've talked about this before. A lot of people are like, I don't have a basement, I don't have this, I don't have that. Baby, what is your situation? Where do you live? And where is the best place in your home for a shelter? If you get stuck at work, where is the best place for shelter? Okay. If you are in a single level home, you do not have a basement, you do not have all these things that people are like, hey, go here, go here. Go to the center of the house. Get away and get as far away from the walls, the outer walls that you can, right? A room in the center of the house that is surrounded by other rooms is perfect, okay? Stay away from the roof line, okay? So if you can stay down, and then now you have the entire upper floor is a barrier, if you will, to you, that is good, okay? What is your situation? This is not a good situation for anybody, okay? If we are having to deal with nuclear war one, we are trying to just not die, okay? If the blast doesn't get you, and you're close enough to fallout. Mind you, you can be states away from something happening and still deal with fallout. So do not think that because you're out in a state where it's wide open and there's no real targets that this can't affect you, okay? This can absolutely affect you, okay? So where could you shelter in your home, okay? Because at this point, if the blast didn't get you, the thought process is, okay, how do we protect ourselves the best way we can against radiation? That's the number 2 thing that you're trying to do. That's why you do certain things with your home, okay? Number 3 thing is sealing up, okay? What's the plan? Again, everybody knows, right? You're closing ventilation off. You're sealing up your doors and your windows. You have one entry point. Where is that entry point? And it doesn't make sense to do other aspects that you need to do, which we're going to talk about right next. But sealing up stuff. Your vents up at the top. Even maybe you don't have HVAC, but you have venting that opens up to the outside. What is the plan to seal that off? Shut that off. So your sealing plan, that stuff matters. If you make it through the blast, your next thing is making it through radiation. You can do it. It is possible to do it. If you're not immediately where, look, you got a burst of fucking fallout right at your guys's, directly on your people at your house where you live, right? You have a chance with weather patterns to make this or the levels not be as high against you and your family, and doing simple things like shutting windows, shutting doors, sealing off that stuff with plastic, right? And let the weather patterns do their thing and hopefully carry stuff away from you, okay? There is a chance. I cannot stand when even preppers, give up on this area. And they're like, well, we're not going to make it. And they prep to death, everything. They prep for everything under the sun. Aliens, okay? They prep them for aliens, but they don't want to prep for nuclear fallout, biological warfare, chemical warfare. That stuff matters, okay? And we are in a time in our world now where that is like we've never been closer, you guys. And things are happening, big things are happening where there's no fallback. Nobody's pulling back, okay? This man sure as heck is not going to pull back. Number 4 thing I have is your entry point, your decon area. So this is, I just mentioned a minute ago, you're sealing off all your windows, you're sealing up all your doors, you have one entry point, and it needs to be going into a decon area, an area that is sealed off by itself, that is a clean area, right? Somebody plans to come home. They've been out for an hour. It took them an hour to get home. They've possibly actually physically gone through fallout of some sort. And, there needs to be an area, back porch, derobe, they got to hit themselves with the garden hose, rinse off, come in through a decon area that is plastic off, right? That is sealed off. Maybe it's a mud room is a perfect area. If you have a back door or side door, an area where, maybe they can come in the garage. Okay, that's the first area. Take their clothes off, scrub up, get clean. Maybe there's something there where there's something, right? And that you've prepared. Maybe there's a pop-up shower with water in a shower bag, camp shower bag, right? They rinse off there, take their clothes off, come into the mud room, right? And then they're going to go straight to the shower and get soapy. If there's water still running and so on, okay? You have to have a plan for a decon area where people are able to disrobe, get rid of stuff, put it in a barrel, put it in a plastic tote where all the contaminated clothing goes, okay? You've got to have that stuff. That stuff possibly has radiation particles on it, okay? But if you don't plan for that, your family doesn't know about it. Now everybody's coming home, bringing in physical radiation particles into the house. It's not good. You've got to do everything you can do to get ahead of every aspect of this, okay? Should you make it through this. Number 5 thing I have is CBR prep at the ready. So this is having your masks, your gear, your suits, your masks, your canisters, knowing where that stuff's at. It's out. Your masks are ready, meaning you've put them on, they're fitted, and then you've put the straps back, and they are actually kept that way. They're kept in a bag that way. They're kept in a drawer that way, so that you could just open the bag, whatever, and just immediately put it on and strap it on quickly, okay? At the ready, okay? Not in, you bought it, it's in the box. You know, you don't have CBR masks, you can afford that. What are the things that you have, right? Clothing alone to cover all aspects of your skin, having a mask, having goggles over your eyes and entry points, right? That stuff matters, okay? So people are going to be doing anything that they can do, but have what it is you have. Again, I know not everybody can afford this stuff, right? So have what it is you have. Get you a cheaper respiratory mask. Get you some goggles, even swimming goggles. Cover, you know, your entire body, your every skin with gloves, everything. All of that stuff matters, okay? Number 6, CBR preps bought, doses posted. So this is your, you know, having your apple juice in your preps, having your apple pectin, having your potassium iodide, your pills, your Ioset, your Thyrosafe, what all those things, right? All the medicines, immune boosting, everything, okay? But those specific thyroid medicines, having them, knowing how much you have, that you have enough for everybody that's coming to your house. Knowing the doses and having that posted. So meaning, what is the dose per day for an adult? What is the dose per day for a child? And know that, okay? You've got to know that information and have it posted in case you're not around, okay? Number 6 thing is, okay, number 6 I just said, CBR preps bought and doses posted. Number 7 is your fallout plan. What is your plan? If you are, all of a sudden you find you're here on the radio, something happened close by, the blast didn't take you out, you made it home. Now what do you have and how are you prepared to stay in your home for a significant period of time, weeks and weeks and weeks? Okay, depends on how long it takes for fallout to dissipate from your area and the all clear is given, right? That means you have food and water in your home, ready to eat meals. How are you living in your home? How are you going to the bathroom? What happens if the toilets back up, sewer backs up, not able to use the toilet? How are you going to the bathroom? Do you have a toilet system? Do you have a place without going outside where you're able to dispose of bio waste, of poop, of pee? Where are you putting that? If you are in the house and you're not trying to go outside because there's fallout, okay? So you can't just take it outside and just get rid of it. Where in your home are you putting that stuff, right? The dogs, the cats, whatever inside, going to the bathroom on a pad or in a room or whatever. What are you doing with that biohazard, right? In the home, okay? This could be as simple as you have a trash can that's dedicated. It's in the corner of the garage. And that's where all bio waste is going. It's away from everybody else, but that's where your bio waste is going. You need to have a plan for this stuff, okay? Otherwise, it gets scary really quick. People that are not prepared are going to be panicked over the simplest of things, okay? So what's your fallout plan? I did videos on all this stuff, how to live in fallout. It went through different things, aspects during the day. You know, how are you cooking inside? How are you staying clean inside? Hygiene, all of this stuff, okay? How are you staying entertained inside? All of this stuff, okay? I'll make sure that I link that in the description box below. Livestock plan. Number 8 is your livestock plan. What's the plan to bring in animals, right? We have chickens now outside, you know, I had to incorporate what's the plan? How do you get them from point A to point B, right? How do you get them from the pen? Who's responsible for doing it? How do you bring them indoors? Once they're indoors, where are they staying? You know, chickens are dirty, right? Where are you keeping them? Okay, maybe you have a garage. We don't have a detached garage. Or we have a detached garage. It's not connected. So, you know, a lot of things, the garage is going to be able to handle that for you. Because it's kind of an extra space that can be converted into lots of different things that you need it for. But if you're like us, you don't have a detached garage, or you have an apartment, or whatever it is that your situation, that livestock, bringing it in. Maybe you're in a situation where you have too much livestock. You can't bring it all in. So what's the plan? Which ones are coming in? Which ones are not? right? Maybe it's barns. You put the rest, you bring some in the house, you bring some in the barns, and you just, hope that I mean, you just hope that fallout isn't coming, right? Because they're gonna get got. Okay, there's, it's very rare unless you have some sort of airtight facility type barn where you plan on bringing them in and you're gonna shut off, but they have to have air. So hard decisions, but you have to think that through. What's the plan to getting certain animals maybe that are outside a lot to getting them inside? What's the plan? Who's to bring them inside? Whose responsibility is that to get all the pets inside, to get the certain livestock inside? Okay. All right. And then number 9, get home bag and plan. I was thinking about escalation and with stuff escalating, a lot of people have get home bags, but seriously, especially if you live in Europe, I would not be leaving the house without my gas mask. And that's just real talk. My gas mask would be part of my get home bag. If I'm out and about going to work every day or going somewhere, my gas mask, at a minimum, my gas mask is in my bag, in my get home bag. So I'm grabbing that and I'm putting it in the car. Okay. I'm just keeping it 100 because if something happens, whether you are able to drive home or have to walk home, the number one thing is you're going to want to be able to get through any kind of fallout. Again, if you're somewhere where you made it through some sort of blast, you've got to have the right stuff to get home safely, to protect yourself as much as possible from radiation, nuclear. This could be nuclear fallout. This could be biological attack you have to get through. This could be chemical, whatever it is to get you home safe. If it's right now, the way things are right now, not to be creepy or scary or over the top, I'm just merely saying that if I lived in Europe right now, my gas mask would be part of my get home bag, period, with some pills, right? With some iodide pills. Okay, not a lot. You just need enough to take some to get home. Okay, that's just I'm telling you, that's what I would be doing if I lived in Europe right now. Okay, and that's not just for nuclear. Okay, that is to protect me through biological, chemical. The minute you hear some stuff, you have your mask. You can run to your car and get your mask out of your get home bag and have that. Okay, that's my advice for people that live in Europe. I'm not quite there yet here. Our stuff is at the ready, but it's not in our get home bags. But as stuff escalates, that might be a thing. It might be a thing that if we go anywhere where we're a certain amount of time and distance away from the house, that we take it with us. We'll see, because stuff is escalating. And then my last thing, number 10 thing I have is what's your comms plan, right? If things go dark, if an enemy takes out all the satellites, what do you have for shortwave? What do you have for getting any kind of information, okay, on what's going on? It might go totally dark and you have nothing. You have no internet for your cell phone. You have the satellites have been taken out. Your satellite phones won't even work now. Maybe that was the plan, to get a hold of family, long-term, long distance, just at least to check in on them and make sure that they are okay. Communication is a very easy way to make society go crazy very quick. When people are in the dark, they have no idea what's going on, even in the city over. It's very, very scary, and chaos ensues because nobody knows what's going on. Let alone nobody knows what's going on with government, what has been destroyed, who's in charge, are we being invaded? There's just so many scenarios that will go through people's minds when they're in the dark and have no idea what's happening, okay? The best you can do is prepare, have different types, have a satellite phone, have your ham radio, have your shortwave radio, have your variety of stuff, and have them in Faraday cages in case we're hit by EMP, so that you can take stuff out and hopefully something, and you're able to get some sort of information on what is happening. Okay, maybe you're not, and so you need to be able to prepare and get your family ready for that, for adapting. You guys will be okay, but now you're having to adapt to people that are going literally crazy around you because they don't know what's going on around them and in the world. Okay, so those are my 10 things. Those are my 10 things that we hit hard here, that we're focusing on, concentrating on. But there's no fear. Absolutely no fear. This was like maybe couple weeks ago, I just had an uneasy feeling, and I was sharing it with my husband, and I was like, I feel so uneasy, and it's like, I'm just so worried about a nuclear attack. And he was like, who cares? He goes, we prepare the best way we can. We are as ready as we can be. And if we get hit, we get hit. We go to heaven. We die, we go to heaven. It's easy day, right? And then if we don't, we were meant to stay, and we'll continue to push forward with what we have and what we're ready to handle and take care of. Because we actually, and I think it's the level of preparedness that gives him that strength, and God, obviously, that gives him that strength that, look, we're going to be fine. You know, if we die, we die and we go to heaven. And if we don't, we have prepared the best way we can to be able to make it through a situation. Again, if we had to leave our home, we have the skills needed and required to make it. So there's no fear, right? So as these things happen, you know, the bridge thing happened, and I kind of was like, whoa, like, man, that's serious, right? And it definitely was on purpose, because the train portion got hit, and where the cars below drive over got hit too. And so I tell you, you can only push so far, and that goes for whatever side did it, whether Russia did it or not. You can only push so far. And so we're too far into this, you guys. Elon Musk did an article. He just mentioned how he's can't sleep at night, and he's racking his brain on how to stop the war, how to end the war. And that takes my mind way far on why he is so concerned with it. But he's concerned. And his thing, and he's being criticized as pro-Russia, right? Because he's like, look, just let them have the annexes, let them have these certain territories, and let's be done with this. But the problem with that is, and I understand that he's trying to be like a peacemaker, like, let's just be done with this war stuff. But the problem is that's not going to be enough. We're already too far. Putin has already demanded certain things, and certain things he's demanded that he knows it's not going to happen. And therefore, we're going to continue to move forward with escalation of war. This is going to happen. Wars take, you know, very years to really solidify and pop off. And this is the beginning, right? And so I'm not saying anything is going to happen tomorrow, but we have time to prepare. We have time to do these things on this list that I talked about, to just prepare your family. And again, if we don't make it, we don't make it, right? But why not prepare in case, so that we're able to handle things that it's like nothing else. It's like everything else that we prepare for, right? That's all it is. So I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm probably going to bring you the tour video tomorrow. I'm just going to show you what the property looked like when we came back in January. And then I'm going to show you my garden area. I'm going to show you the septic, all the work they did. We did an Oscar 3. It's above ground septic. It basically went from gravity to pressurized system. And I'm going to show you the chicken coop, little chickens, and just give you a little tour of the work that we've done in the backyard. Okay? So you guys be well, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Take care.